What's going on? Tonight we're going to be making some split pea and potato soup with turkey hot dogs on the side. First thing, when you're going to cook this, it's good to get kind of order of operations going. So the first thing that's going to limit the time it takes involved in cooking this is getting the water hot. So get your cold water running from the tap. You want it nice and cold. Even though it's going to take a little bit longer to cook with cold water than hot water, the benefits are that cold water is better for you. That hot water that sits in that tank collects all sorts of chemicals and metals and crap. It won't mess you up if you drink it a few times, but over the longevity of your life, it's better to stick to what's good for you. So that water is nice and cold, and what we're going to need is about 7 cups of water. That's about 3.5. And that's about 3.5. That on the front burner, turned right up on high. And get that lid in here. Now the great thing about this split pea potato soup is it's dirt cheap. Right now, split pea is going at Wally World for 72 cents a pound, and there's 8 servings in here. It's not like a pound of chicken, which is, let's say you get for $1.50. When you cook it, you actually lose 20% of water weight. This, you get a pound of it, and it's going to be weighing a lot more because it's going to absorb all that water in there. I mean, it becomes a soup. So this is heating up right now. Now, in this product, with it being mostly a whole food product, there is no salt. So, as I've said in previous movies I've made about cooking, it's up to you to determine how much salt you want to add. I've said before, don't be too heavy-handed because you'll just get used to that level. But at the same time, enjoy the flavor that salt gives food. A nice little trick about soups, although it's not why we're putting a potato in this one. If you ever oversalt a soup, a cut up potato, the 2 or 3 pieces, put into the soup will absorb a lot of that excess salt. So here we've got our peas. This is still heating up. It's going to take a little bit of time before it's boiling. One of the secrets to it, though, is you might be thinking to yourself, that sounds like a dinner dish, why would you add sugar? But a little bit of sugar makes everything a little bit better. So I'm also going to add to this 7 cups of water, and the salt I've added about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half of sugar. And I don't do all the seasoning right now, but I'll also throw in 1 bay leaf. The rest of the seasoning we're going to use, and you don't have to use this, you can use whatever's around your house, but the celery seed and the paprika and the black pepper we'll season at the end when it gets done cooking. So I threw in a bay leaf, more like half a bay leaf, use another half a bay leaf. Alright, so step number dos. Get on a strainer, take your great value peas, cycle them up for later, and then give it a good rinse. You don't want to look for any off-color peas, maybe sometimes a little bit of dirt in here. Get it nice and rinsed off, nice and clean. And then in she goes. Now, today we're going to be using some locally grown, Maine locally grown potatoes. And the big thing with potatoes, okay, some people are like, well, why do I have to eat organic? What's the big deal? Well, you don't have to. You know, eating a non-organic thing isn't going to kill you once or twice. But there's something weird about buying non-organic potatoes. You put them in your pantry, and they don't grow. They don't go bad. If they don't get wet, they don't get bad. Potatoes should grow eyes. If they don't, that's kind of weird. Maybe that's why when people eat food, weird things happen with the growing inside their own bodies, like cancer. I mean, the links between non-organic foods and cancer, anything to be called conclusive, but there's something to it. Of organic and non-organic foods, there are some that are a bigger deal to really be picky about. And potatoes are one of them because they're a root vegetable. They suck up everything that's in the ground surrounding them. And you can't just cut off the outside to get rid of the layer that is sprayed with pesticide. Because they're not only sprayed while they're growing and the ground's not only sprayed with it, but afterwards they're sprayed with what's called a growth inhibitor so they don't sprout eyes. You know, an orange, a banana, you peel off the outside, not a big deal. Potatoes, big deal. Peaches, big deal. Raspberries, grapes, apples, pears, they're all big deals. You really want to buy organic, buy seasonally with them. So, alright, the water's getting pretty hot. Still hasn't begun to boil yet, but I'm going to add the oil that I'm going to be using. Now there's 8 servings, 8 quarter-cup servings in here, and that's a good idea of what to look at and how to think about how you should butter this up. Now I'm going to put in for each serving in there about 3/4 of a serving of butter, so about 6 tablespoons of butter, and then for that, on top of that, an additional, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil. This gives the dish calories. It gives it energy. Each of those quarter servings of just split pea are only 90 calories. So the oil and the butter actually lend more energy to what you're trying to make. So, got my butter right here. Putting in about 3/4 of a stick. Go for the splash up. Throwing a couple of tablespoons of oil. Still doesn't come to a boil yet, but the burner is nice and red. Put it on, and while it's getting to a boil, I'm going to give these potatoes a wash. Now the split pea to get to the desired consistency is going to take about 20 or 30 minutes, and coincidentally enough, that's about how long you want to cook the potatoes for. So what I'm going to do after I get these potatoes washed off, I'm going to put them in the pot with the split pea, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it come to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, it's going to be a set it and forget it type thing, and I'm just going to start a wash, and I'll walk away for about 15 minutes. We'll part ways, and when I come back, we will be seasoning the rest of the dish and cooking a couple of hot dogs to cut up and pour the split pea and potato over so that my wife and I can go to enjoy a delicious, pretty nutritious dinner meal. So even though these are organic Maine potatoes, I'm still going to give them a rinse. And you know, it's not that pricey to go organic with potatoes. Right now the going price at about Hannaford and Shaw's is about $5 for a 5-pound bag. Works out to about $1 a pound. So yeah, you can't buy just 3 or 4 potatoes. You have to buy a 5-pound bag, but that's really not that unreasonable price to be asking for potatoes. Some organic products, they're just over the top. But maybe that's why we shouldn't be eating apples year-round. Maybe we shouldn't be eating seasonal vegetables all the time, so the need for organic foods like that wouldn't be there all the time. So cut the potatoes up into the sizes you want. Little bite sizes is what I'm going for. Getting something like this. All right, and you want to keep the skin on. The skin of the potato, that is the good stuff. You might think it tastes a little funny, but if you can find a way to love it, that is the stuff that's really got the nutrients and the fiber in it. So the water is just beginning to boil. I'm going to turn it down to about, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 high range. I don't know if I said that already. So I'm turning it down to about a 3.5. I'm going to finish cutting up this second potato. I'm not putting in too much potato because, silly me, used a pan a little too small. You know what? I'm going to get a little ingenuity up in here. Roll punches and call an audible. So, a little unplanned for, but we're going to switch plans because I really want to throw a third potato in here and really make it not kind of potato and split pea, but a split pea potato mix. So, even though I'm pretty sure I'm going to nail this anyway, good rule of thumb is just to come over this and voila. Bada boom, bada bang. It's like it never happened. Waste not, want not.